want to talk about how to become a sustainable advocate, how to do this advocacy thing.
It's always been in me to help people and change communities and do better for this world. That even when I did it, I realized that this can be a career. I can make a career out of this. It was rooted from passion of changing people's lives. And social media, of course, we all put our best foot forward. But advocacy is such a hard work. And if you don't have passion for it, you can't.
Do you know about your voice fund? And then girl's like, oh, I know about her voice fund because I've seen Gracious is so busy on social media about it. But it's her voice fund. So I tried. Like Milicent was featured on BBC last year, and she was featured.
And I was featured.
How did her voice fund find you?
Because we don't believe young people don't have a voice. We believe strongly that young people have a voice. They just need to be given the right skills and the opportunities, being linked to opportunities.
Listening is very important. That's why we know most people when they get into the space they want the mic.
Yeah.
But there's
Are you ready for the mic?
much.
Are you ready
Are
for the
you
mic?
ready for the mic?
Yeah.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. You know what? You have asked and me, because I listen to my people, I am giving it to you. So today we are doing our first sit down with one of the seasoned advocates. She's my friend, but today she's not my friend. She comes here to speak about her expertise of being like an advocate, and today we just want to talk about how do you become a sustainable advocate. So today in studio we are joined by Millicent Sethaile. I'm good and
Thanks
yourself?
for having me.
That's superb. Then because I stole her, I'm not going to pay her because you don't have money yet. You're still starting out.
Soon I'll be sending my invoice. Soon I'm sending my
Love
invoice.
that. So Milicent is my friend, and how we became friends is that she is her voice fund ambassador for Botswana, and I'm the Hair Voice Fund ambassador for South Africa. So today we want to talk about how to become a sustainable advocate, how to do this advocacy thing, because we know that it's not glamorous. Most people are so to be advocates, because I have had numerous number of people telling me that I want to quit my job to go to advocacy, or I want to quit school to go to advocacy, because as advocates we often sell things that post all the good moments, and we don't tell people about what goes on behind the scenes,
How hard the work is.
So today, before we get into the business of the day, I want you to introduce yourself, because I don't want it to be like I'm reading your bio. I'm like, Milicent was featured on BBC last year, and she was featured.
And I was featured.
Over to you.
Thank you so much, Gracious. It's definitely lovely that someone finds it important to talk about the good and the bad. I think, like you're saying, we always put out and social media, of course, we all put our best foot forward. But advocacy is such a hard work. And if you don't have passion for it, you can't. So I am Millicent Sethaile. I am the Hair Voice Fund ambassador for Botswana, and based in Botswana and working everywhere in the world. My passion is around health and universal health access to all. Currently working with just young people, focusing on prioritization of health for young people, advocating for young people, and their leadership in leadership positions and platforms. But most importantly, I'm very much interested and working towards ensuring that we're prioritizing funding for young people. And this is because I studied finance, and I got into the space out of passion. I want to say out of availability, but it was more out of passion. Because fresh from school, I was like, okay, what can I do? I didn't want to study numbers and do accounting. I loved it, but it was just, I wanted to do something before I can jump straight into it. I felt so serious, and I was young, I was hip, I was fun, and I didn't want to be too serious in life. So when I started this work, I've also been part of clubs your pact at school, all these social clubs, extracurricular clubs back in school. So it's always been in me to help people and change communities and do better for this world. That even when I realized that this can be a career, I can make a career out of this. It was rooted from passion of changing people's lives.
I love it. I love it when you say it has always been something that has been rooted in me. So I think our viewers at home are wondering, what is Her Voice Fund? Even though I've tried, I think if you're following me, you should know what the Her Voice Fund is about, because yesterday I bumped into this other friend of mine. I've met him during the workshop, and he stays here in Rwanda. So I was with Mexi. So Meximina is our coordinator. So it's like, hi, I bumped into him and was like, hi, you're here. I'm like, yeah, I'm here. So I'm like, this is Meximina. He's my Her Voice Fund coordinator. And then Mexi says hi, and then Mexi asks, do you know about Her Voice Fund? And then girl was like, oh, I know about Her Voice Fund because I've seen Gracious is so busy on social media about it. But for the interest of our viewers who might be new, I just wanted Millicent to break down what Her Voice Fund is all about, you know?
She's really putting me on this one. So Her Voice Fund is a small grant for organization, and this grant is being disseminated in 13 countries, in Africa only, unfortunately. That was started in 2018, and this is a grant that is funded by Global Fund, Viv Healthcare,
and implemented by Y Plus
and implemented by Y Plus Global, and it's working through different organizations in Botswana. I know it's working through Sethaile, and in South Africa it's through Impact Drivers, and we are the ambassadors, in which means that initially we were the ones that were implementing the funding in schools. But with time, we had to bring in other organizations and NGOs. The main focus of Her Voice Fund is to ensure that we are building the capacity of adolescent girls and young women for them to be leaders. You know, education and empowerment is very important to us in this space, that we want to ensure that when you actually have the opportunity to speak to issues that you're faced with, because we don't believe young people don't have a voice. We believe strongly that young people have a voice, they just need to be given the right skills and the opportunities, being linked to opportunities. So organizations that we fund, NGOs, smaller NGOs, we build our capacity, the NGOs, and then we fund them to ensure that they are building the capacity of adolescent girls and young women in the community, especially to make sure that there's access to SRHR services, skills building, like I had said, leadership, public speaking, all those skills building for young people to be a young leader. We ensure that we also link young people to platforms. So the CCM, country coordinating mechanism, is one of the especially spaces that are of impact, that young people can participate in and contribute in, because that's where the country's funding comes into. And if there's no young person sitting at that table, our issues as young people won't be prioritized and won't be funded. And then we work with government as well. We work with other donors, not other donors, we work with other organizations. Governments most of the time are our stakeholders, and we work with those governments. So we as the ambassadors, our role is to work together with the country to ensure that funding has gone to those NGOs, smaller NGOs, our grantees, that we work very closely with. But we also ensure that there's implementation. We help these smaller grantees, and we help them ensure that they will do what they say they will do. Their proposals, we help them with their proposals. We either the writing or the reviewing. So when we say this is a lot of work, it's even this video alone is not enough. And I think one of the videos that you should do is that just take them through maybe a monitoring and evaluation visit to your donors, to your grantees. I mean, to see the amazing work that these grantees do. They do quite great work. And then when we come to these big conferences like the one that we just came from, Women Deliver, is where we get to share with the world. Share with the world what these grantees are doing, and show the world what our countries are doing. But most importantly, share and advocate a lot more for her voice fund, because it's changing people's lives, it's changing adolescent girls and young women's lives. People now have access to ARVs, treatment, people have access to prevention, which is contraceptives. People have opportunities to speak up and find more funding for the programs that they want to do. In a nutshell,
that is her voice fund. We can take like a whole day trying to break down what her voice fund is. But I just want to emphasize on a few things that Millicent has said. So this fund, I don't know like how to explain the fund, but it's an amazing tool for organizations, but also for girls and young women who are trying to become advocates, but they're a bit like confused. So what I like about the fund is that they're not looking for people who will have all the documents, all the bank accounts, all the things that they need, but it is for them to come, and it sort of like teaches those organizations on how to be built up for them to be able to receive bigger funding. So this organization, this fund is just for grassroots organizations that are doing the work and just need a little bit of guidance here and there to elevate their impact. And when I say those people are doing their work, they are doing their work. But most of the times, articulating, it takes a skill. Articulating what you're doing on paper, it takes a skill. And it's not glamorous. I mean, our reports are due. Ambassadors' reports are due soon. Grantees' reports are due soon. The country reports are due soon. So we have to evaluate those and to help them put what they are doing on paper, because they are doing such an amazing job in their communities. Speaking of how the fund takes people who are unqualified, who often feel like they are unworthy, because this fund can tell you that, gracious, are you available tomorrow? Because we have someone from the United Nations who'd like to know more about the work that you're doing in your community. So this fund is just, when I got here, I was so intimidated. I'm like, what? You're saying who funded the Global Fund? You're saying who started that? Is it? Oh, okay, wait. So I just wanted Millicent to tell us, because one thing I love about Millicent being the first one to interview on this series or episode is because Millicent started with her Voice Fund. She was one of the first ambassadors, and because it started in 2018, so it was going through the pilot phase. She knows all the not so glamorous things about her Voice Fund. For it to be where it is now, it was because of inputs from people such as Millicent and other ambassadors that were there from the start. So I just want her to tell us, how did her Voice Fund find you?
How does her voice find me? It was a very interesting journey, because there was a call for proposal, of course. I had already been working with Global Fund through different organizations. Like I said, Global Fund can directly fund small organizations in countries, because they're already funding the countries. So it was working with IANASO and SAT. Then it was called a Southern African Youth Trust. Now it's called SRHR Africa Trust. And there was a call for proposal. There was a call for application, I meant to say. And because I was already working with SAT as a volunteer, I said, they're like, listen, apply for this fund, and you might get it. I didn't get it because they worked with it. I got it because they knew about it and they linked me to the opportunity. And I applied. It was brutal. It was brutal because they wanted so many things, and I was new to the space. I think it's been a year since I finished school and I started. And like I said, I was still a volunteer, but I was very passionate. I was very interested in what the space has to offer. I wanted to learn more, and I was sharing my journey. I love the fact that you really share your journey. That is exactly the same thing that I did when I was starting off. I was always interested in sharing, using the power of social media as well to share the work that we do, to share the work I do, to share the lessons I learned and the disappointments I also face in this space, because it can be very disappointing. It can be very disappointing. So in 2018, there was a call. I applied. I think I was interviewed with other young women, and I was fortunate enough to get the slot for ambassador in Botswana. And I think when we started, it was about nine countries. Only in East and Southern Africa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I applied, we went to Accra, Ghana, where the fund itself was being launched, as much as the investment recently was being launched.
Yeah.
We went to Accra, Ghana. It was being launched. We were told that we were going to be the ambassador. We were not sure if we were. I think it was like we were not sure if we were chosen. So it was like top 3 in your country. But when I got there, I realized, okay, I'm chosen to be the Her Voice Fund ambassador. And like I said, initially, it's been a lot of ups and downs. And then when it was starting, it was very small. Like you have 1 grantee, you work with 2 grantees, only because at the end of the day, they were using young people to make sure that they in the country are implementing. So there's been so much growth from where we started in 2018 to where we are now in 2023. We've funded more than 60 NGOs in 13 countries. I think that is such phenomenal work. When I was talking about it with Maxi as well this week, we're just talking about where we come from, and it's such a great. It gives you so much pride to see the lives that you've impacted, to see hear the people's stories of how you gave them hope at one point, and how you helped them not fall pregnant and drop out of school, that they were able to finish their school, that they were able to feed their family. That it's just the small things that make you sleep better at night. That even when we're reviewing these reports and you sleep at 1 a.m. when all behind all the work, what gives you so much solitude and sleep and peace at night is that you're really changing someone's life. You're making impact and positive impact in someone's life. So there's been the grant has grown over the past 5 years. Later on, changed from SAT. It was given to Yanaso. Later from Yanaso, it was given. Then YPAS Global applied for it, and they got it, and they changed. They changed how we've been doing it.
It's been elevated. I mean, like when I got here, I don't remember a day when I would say I have learned something or I was so unsure because it's just like it understands young people who are from places where there's no exposure. Like you're just an upcoming young person, you've never been on a flight. They are the first one to take you out on a flight. I mean, there's one of our favorite person who organizes flights and everything. Shout out to Gabriel. Gabriel would write a concept note as if you are, I don't know, a dummy child from somewhere. Like, but it's so, even when you read it, it's so exciting. Like, oh, and it stopped so they need to fly because it's cold out there. So guys, it has been such an amazing ride. And I think we are now realizing that we want the fund to do what it was supposed to do from the start. Where we like, you get in as an unempowered girl, you leave being this empowered young woman. I mean, like now Millicent is about to leave, and she doesn't like anything. She's bold. She can be cold. I mean, guys, recently here in Kigali, she was speaking in a panel that was fire. Guys, do you know Mam Pumzile Mlambo Guga? Do you know her? The former Executive Director of UN Women. Same stage with Minister of Health, in the same room with the First Lady. Guys, this fund, when I tell about this fund, I mean, I remember last year I was featured in the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation article, and I was like, what? Is this me?
Are you sure?
Are you sure? Like, are you not making a mistake? So we also recognize that what the fund is supposed to do is expose you so that you have the skills for you to be findable. Like, so I know now it is important for us to stay for like 2 years or so that we leave room for other girls to be empowered. And guys, we are not sad that we're leaving. We will be leaving soon, in a couple of months, or maybe a year later, because we want other girls to feel this way. And because we know what? Her Voice Fund will never like let us leave and not give us opportunities. When we leave, we know that it has connected us to the right people. We will continue to travel, we will continue to do everything that we want to do. So I think one of the challenges with advocates nowadays is that when they find a seat, they want to hold on to that seat forever. That is not the way it's supposed to go. The more you're saying, okay, I think I am done, let me walk that stair and see if there's another seat for me. You will definitely find it with the right mentors. One thing this fund has done is that it's not just about us advocating for other girls and empowering them, but it empowers us because they give us ambassador angels, and these are women who have been like rocking stages, big stages. So it's very important that when you mentor or when you have a young leader, there's an element of mentorship that is very important for you to put in place so that you are not only empowering them to go and speak and only to find out when they go back, they just, there's nothing happening in their lives, like no personal growth, no, like their life, personal life is lacking. With this fund, our lives are flourishing.
And shout out to everyone who's been behind the scenes, who's been supporting us. I remember 2 years ago when they introduced the capacity building program for us as ambassadors, because I think the advocacy space sometimes there's still that value exchange. It's where they're taking, but there's no contribution that is made towards you. And I remember White Plus when they were introducing these, we didn't understand exactly. We knew we wanted them, and they listened to us when we said, but what are we getting as ambassadors? Where you can't just be the face of this fund, but what are we getting? And they have built our skills. They've provided trainings on leadership, public speaking, communication, how to write reports, how to position yourself with social media. They've given us so many skills, so many tools to use, that it enables us, like you're saying, when we move and when we elevate, it's not even just we're leaving, we're elevating to something else. We're growing. It shows the growth that we've had, and we're voluntarily leaving to say, you have given us everything and all the tools that we need. We want to now hand over the baton to other adolescent girls and young women who are also deserving and have been making impact in their communities in the most amazing way. And you mentioned something that is very important, Gracious. I think with this fund, the best support we have is the mentorship program, both from the WAPOS Global team. We know we get so much support from Global Fund through Rukia, and shout out to Rukia. I remember when she was starting this fund also, when she was finding money for this fund 5 years ago, she was fighting tooth and nail, and she's still fighting for us as well, together with her team, of course. But it's prioritization of funding young people. And the mentorship support program has carried us through. It has showed us the ropes, because it's easy to make mistakes. That is why sometimes you see advocates who you're like, I wonder what happened to that girl in South Africa. Where's she now? We don't see her anymore. And there's no that continuation of the work, even if you're not affiliated to only one organization. So I think Her Voice Fund has been one of the most beautiful chapters in my life, that I'll cherish forever in my life, because they have really exposed me to what leadership looks like, and progressive and productive leadership, because you just, again, don't want to just sit in spaces and speak or just travel. It's not about the traveling. It's not about the traveling. It's about the work that you do. It's about the impact that you make. It's about working well with. It's like we're employed. We work with grantees. We work with the finance team. We work with the technical team. We work with everyone, and it's putting us at the forefront of saying, what does the NGO space look like? From finance, from projects, from programs on the ground, all the way to the leaders, speaking with presidents and trying to advocate to prioritize funding for adolescent girls and young women. So it's been such a great journey, and I pray and hope that other girls, and even you when you're watching this, that you can get motivated to not just, it's not just the glamorous work. Is the tools that you're putting into it, is availing yourself. I remember when this grant started 5 years ago, we were not being given money. There was no stipend. It was working out of passion, and it grew. And I'm so happy to see it where it is now, where you can rely on it to support you financially, to support you however best way that you can. There are times where it was like, next year I'm going through 1, 2, 3. And there's like, I know someone who can help you, and link me to that person. So as advocates in the space, your passion speaks for you more, because again, you're gonna be put in these opportunities, but how you use them is according to you, and how you use them is up to you. You know, when we grew up with the papa, those girls who, but papa who sees it has really helped us to be where we are now, because we are put in a place and you are put in a platform or in a room, and you actually use it. You use that small 10 minutes. Recently, we were put in a room with the minister, and all these big people, big names, and my imposter syndrome was, oh my God. It got the best out of me, but I was like, Millicent, shake it off, shake it off, shake it off. And I shook it off, and the conversations that came out of that room, even after that, there were follow-up conversations. When I meet, it's not when we met and we were in this panel together and we left. There was that conversation that, oh, I remember you from this place and this place. We started conversing and sharing ideas as well, where it shows you what young people are needed for. So our voice is important, your passion. It's not about the money. Guys, it's not about the money.
Listen, there's actually, I want to tell you something, just to add on what you're going to say. People, like, when I said people tell me they want to quit school and there's no money in this space. Like, the stipends that you're getting is for you to attend Zoom calls, which are so many Zoom calls. You can attend like various in like a week, you can attend so many. So you just to get those, like, move around a bit if you need to go and meet a minister. So you need something that is so sustainable. And another point I want to add is that you need to allow yourself to be mentored, like that intentional mentorship where they come like, Millicent, today you spoke trash. And we need to do something about that, my baby. We need to do that. So allow yourself to be mentored and to be told when you're wrong and when you're right. And also, like, I think the important aspect of being an advocate is allowing yourself to exist in a room with different people who have different views from you, but yet still being able to engage with one another in order for you to find solutions. Because advocacy is not about you agreeing, sitting at the table and say agreeing. It's not about that. It's about you sitting on that table, like listening to people, but you being able to calmly respond and pass your views, and just being able to listen to others. Listening is very important.
That's how you
we
learn.
know most people, when they get into the space, they want the mic. But there's
Are you ready for
so
the mic?
much.
Are you ready
Are
for the
you
mic?
ready for the mic? It's very important for you to be in a stage where you allow yourself to learn and be in the background. Like, there's so much
material to read.
There's so much material to read, but there's so much, like, there's something so potent and important about you being in the background, running around, doing almost like everything. It's very important for you so that you know how to relate. So you can't just get a mic if you don't go on the ground. To the grantees, to see the work that they are doing, to walk the miles that they are waking, that they are walking, for you to understand and develop your empathy, just to elevate it to another level. So because we wanted to connect with you, I did a Q&A last night asking you different questions on Instagram, what you want me to ask you all. So I'm going to look for my questions and we're gonna get straight into the questions. First one is, how does one find themselves in spaces like yours?
That is a tricky question, no? Like, when we first began this we talked about passion, and you see a lack and you want to be the solution.
Sure, we see a lag and you want to be a solution.
You see a gap and you just want to fill that gap. And it won't leave you until you've done something about it. We're Christians and we were talking about this yesterday, that sometimes it's in you, man. And you just don't know how to articulate it. You don't know how to articulate it. So it starts off with passion. It starts off with really wanting to see change. Not just okay, sure, there's nothing I can do about it and not giving up. But finding also means on, okay, I see that there's a lack in my community of kids going to school without shoes. What can I do? Who can I talk to? It's really the small things, and then they grow and grow and grow and grow, because then you do more and more and more, and people realize. It's not where you see something and you solve it once, you give them a pair of shoes and then you go, and then you, sure, that is impact, but for us in our work, you need to do more and more and more and bigger, and then it grows, and then people recognize you. And then that's when you can actually be given an opportunity to be here.
So true. And it's okay for you to start with that one pair of shoes.
Yeah,
because that's what's going to drive you and sustain you. And that's what's gonna like build your resume. In this space, you need to have like a resume. Like, what did you do? Not all of you are going to become her voice fund ambassadors, but there are so many amazing initiatives that are out there looking for people to become ambassadors or youth leaders for them. So you need to put yourself in that space. People don't want to volunteer.
Yeah.
People don't want to volunteer.
Themselves.
When they want to volunteer, they want to volunteer for organizations such as Impact Drivers.
Yeah.
They don't want to volunteer for organizations that are in their communities.
Small.
It's very important for you to volunteer, irrespective of the organization. Like, as long as the organization does something that aligns to the work that you want to do, they might not have big funding, but start there. Start there so that when you have access to people who have big funding, you can return there and elevate them. So people...
Also, the stories you're sharing, how are you going to share any story or know anything if you have never started? You've never did, like, get your hands dirty. Like, get the hands dirty. Just start somewhere. And you know, when you start somewhere, I remember when I started, I was focusing on menstrual health.
Yeah.
And now I know a lot about menstrual health, but it's not where my focus is, because I grew and realized that, there's a lack in contraceptives.
Yeah.
There's a lack in HIV treatment. So you grow.
Yeah.
You start somewhere, but you eventually grow and grow, and your interest and your mind grows with that opportunity.
And you'll never know what you like until you just keep on tapping into this. It's like food. You never know when the salt is right, unless you just keep on pinch of salt, testing, pinch of salt until it's perfect for you. So it's very important for you to do something in order for you to find yourself, because no one will find you. If you are, no one will find you. No one will know you. So this one, I think it aligns to what we've said. How does one go about being an ambassador? So I think we've touched on it. Like, it's about you putting yourself out there, you doing the work. The most important thing to do is the work.
But also, you can just, because the calls are different, then they start every year. Just also maybe follow Y Plus Global, the social media handles and all the social media platforms that Y Plus Global. And when there's a call in a country, different countries, most of the times they do share those adverts, and then try your luck, apply.
And it's important for you to be connected to an organization. Because most of the time when they send the calls, they send them to organizations. Or some, even they don't even send the calls, they ask for recommendations from various organizations. So just make sure you are aligned or you are attached to a certain organization for you to become the ambassador. Another one asked us, how do you balance? This one is going to be very difficult for Millicent because she's struggling with this. So how do you balance your private and work life while doing the work?
My God. And it is a struggle. It's a struggle because I'm such a private person. I'm very private with my personal life. But if you have a purpose and you want to do something about it. So the best thing which I found to balance pressures, which we're talking about, and you're laughing, is that I use different social media platforms for different things. My Instagram is my personal space. It's where, because I'm not just an advocate. I'm so many things. I'm so many things, you know. I like creative things. I love so many things, right? I love art and music, and I don't want to show that and align that with my advocacy, because sometimes then people have a perception of that, of they think they make that image of who you are as an advocate, and that's not who I am. The artistic Millicent is Millicent. It's Millie to so many people.
Yeah.
And Millicent Sethaile is the advocate
Yeah.
who speaks and the room shakes.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I love that. Who speaks and the room shakes? Oh, I love that.
But yeah, so it is quite, it takes so much time. You need to learn what you can share with. And talking of sharing, I think people need to also realize that what we share on social media is what you want you to see.
Yeah.
It's not who I am fully. That is why, like I said, one thing I learned is to separate my stuff, to separate social media Millicent, fun Millicent, the creative Millicent, advocacy Millicent, funding Millicent, finance Millicent, because I'm a lot of things to a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I was able to use different social media platforms for different things. Instagram is my personal space. It's private. Very limited people see that. I use Facebook, I use Twitter, and I use LinkedIn for work. All my advocates, because also that's where the people that I work with are at. And then in terms of my private life, physical private life, I live a very chilled life.
When they say YOLO, she does YOLO like.
I am very YOLO like.
Dora the Explorer.
I am Dora the Explorer, but I'm just also making sure that you have the right people around you.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of people that are in my space or know who I am. It's me from what I show you, but people, my close friends, my intimate friends are very few.
Yeah.
Because I also deal with big things. So I don't want the gracious life is being put out there because I got confined in a friend. Not that of course we know how to differentiate, but your intimate space is your intimate space. Tomorrow I don't want I shared with you, get out with the first lady that I shouldn't share. Then tomorrow my business is all out there. I deal with people's lives, and I don't want that is why my space is also very, very small. But also I've been raised to be like that. I unfortunately was raised to know that private life is private life and show people what you want them to see. My social media is not my diary.
Yeah.
People have made social media their diary, and that is scary because even things that don't need to be on social media are on social media. But all in all, I've learned to just separate my life. I've learned it's not balanced. I think my motto is work hard and play harder. And I go with that. I balance that. Because I know if work has fulfilled me, my fun life and my social life and my personal life can also find ways of being fulfilled.
Yeah. So because we are advocates, I am going to be an advocate, and I'm not, on some parts, I'm not going to fully agree with Milicent. This is my time to step out with my advocacy. So for me, I would say that your private life, your definition of private life is defined by you.
Yeah.
How you define your intimate space, how you define your personal life. So for you, if you're saying this is for the people, then let it be for the people. For Milicent, it might not be for the people, it might be for her close friends, but it's you who's supposed to identify it. And also, you must study your audience. You know that on Instagram, your audience love you when you're in this way. And also be intentional about what you put out. What do you want it to do?
Yeah.
For me, I'm a very, very private person. Even the moments where I'm sharing, I'm dancing, I feel so cringe.
Yeah.
But my thing is, I would be selling a lie if I was not sharing those moments that after the trip, we extended our trip for us to stay in Kigali because we want to play hard and work hard. And it's important for us to have work-life balance. So in here and there, I'll share snippets because I want people to know that it's okay for you to be serious. There's a moment for you to be so serious, and there's a moment for you to just laugh and everything. I know my friends know me as they say I'm a comedian. Because I just say weird things. Gracious, because I just do random things that make me happy. I just want to see people laughing and everything. But sometimes I just, I'm a social media person. But when I am with my friend, my phone is always and then I'm like, no, this is not what I want to share. It's something that I treasure to me. So it is defined by you.
Yeah.
It's in your hand. You're the one who has to define. Is this something that I want to share, or is this something that I don't want to share? So
whatever that makes you happy, do it.
Yeah.
But for me, it's being private and knowing what to wear. For you, it's definitely going to be totally something different. So yeah, and at the end of the day, there's always going to be backlash. People are not always going to agree with you,
Yeah.
and it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. What your balance can be sleep. I sleep a lot.
You see?
Your balance can be sleep, but if it is well and good, and if you can say, no, my balance is my off time, I sleep, it's fine. We'll do what works for you and do it to the best of your abilities.
Yeah.
Give your all to everything. If it's resting, right now we're resting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, you guys must pay us because why are we here, like taking our time, walking down the streets of Rwanda, drinking some coffee, but because we love what we do and we want to share it with you guys, because we want you to go back and become the best advocates for you to be able to carry on the impact to the girls and young women in your communities. This is a collective effort kind of work. We need to all be together. This space, there's nothing will be taken from you. Your seat won't be taken from you because you are bringing another girl to come into this space and sit on the same table as you. If I can tell you about the woman from the Global Fund and her Voice Fund, this woman to us, they're like, there's no seat for you. You're going to come and sit here with me. Like, it has been so magical to see like so many ladies who are doing the best thing just because you're young. I know myself. I've been doing this. I want you to help me carry on the impact. It's not the thing we are going to take their positions. No, it's very important for us to work with them together. So there's nothing wrong for you to give opportunities to other people when you know about them. It's very important for you to share, because in order for us to touch more girls, to reduce the high HIV incidences and teenage pregnancy statistics that are here in South Africa, it is important for us to work as a collective and be able to drive the
because it also can't be everywhere.
Yeah, you can't be everywhere.
Yeah,
you need to know that Millicent will know. If they call her to talk about digital advocacy, you say,
it's not
my area of expertise. Can I recommend that I know Gracious? She's passionate about digital advocacy. Can she come and speak? And when they talk about finance, health financing, resource mobilization, I'm like, gosh, I hate accounting in school. I don't want anything to do with it. But it's very important for us to know a little bit about what's happening so that we can have like that the mentality to relate,
to speak to it.
To speak to it. Yeah, but otherwise, guys, the world is our oyster. Everyone has their own seat, and it's time for us to elevate, amplify, advocate, participate. What else?
Take up space.
Provide
solutions. Yes.
Guys, we've come to the end of today's episode, and I hope that we'll get more advocates who are driving enormous changes in their communities. If you want to know more about the Hair Voice Fund, you can visit the Wire Plus Global website. You just search Hair Voice Fund, or you can just go to Global Fund website or Vive Healthcare Positive Actions website. And then you will find about all the work that we do in our communities. Otherwise, you can also follow me on Instagram at gracious_Lwati, and you'll see all the amazing work that we do. You can send me a DM, but please don't send me a hi only. Send me a hi and tell me what you want, because this is so busy. It's very busy. So